So I was listening and reading about the Colin Kaepernick situation, and at first I thought, what an asshole. For those of you who don't know, he did not stand during the national anthem, and at first I thought, what an asshole, and then you're seeing all of the memes out there, and you see the picture of the Marine who doesn't have legs, who stands up, and he's still standing during the national anthem, and Colin Kaepernick will not, and the argument that he gives is that he will not stand for a national anthem for a country who has been prejudiced towards African Americans over the years. And I thought, you know, what an asshole, because he's not standing, this Marine does. And you hear all of these stories, and you see all of the memes, and you see all of the hysteria, and I kind of bought in at first. And then I saw that there's a governor in Maine who suggested that people of color are the enemies, and even suggested that maybe they get shot. One of his quotes specifically says, when you go to war and the enemy dresses in red and you dress in blue, then you shoot it red. That's a direct quote from the governor in Maine. And then I thought, well, maybe Colin Kaepernick has an actual point. I'm Brian Crawford. You're listening to the River's Edge Radio Network. We're broadcasting from Millvale Studios. And I want to know why nobody's talking about this governor in Maine. Everyone's in a craze, in a hysteria over somebody who decided not to stand up. And yeah, I do think that it was a douchebag move, but realistically, what's the bigger story here? A guy who makes millions of dollars who decides not to stand up, or a governor who is a governor who has actual real power to veto and implement policy in a state in the United States, specifically calling out minorities and calling them the enemy of the country, and basically saying we're at war with the enemy. So we've got that guy. That guy here, that's not a major story. That's a story that no one's talking about. If you look at the Facebook trending statistics, it's like at the bottom. Colin Kaepernick is at the top. And realistically, what he has done amounts to nothing. I mean, it's just some rich guy who probably was just too lazy to stand up and tried to make a big issue out of it after the fact. And, you know, some of the memes out there, they show, you know, him standing next to two white people saying, oh, look how oppressed he is, and the two white people are his parents. And yeah, when you look at that, it's a little bit ridiculous. When you look at the pictures of the guy's mansion, it's ridiculous to talk about him talking about being oppressed. But again, in the grand scheme of things, this Republican from Maine, that's the big story. And yeah, when you've got people like that talking about things, let's say one of the quotes is, the enemy right now are people of color and people of Hispanic origin. We've got a governor saying things like that. I mean, I guess it's a situation where, yeah, Colin Kaepernick it's a flashy story. People, what's that?
People love sports.
And
people love sports.
Much bigger voice.
Yeah, he's
but
got a big audience. You know?
Right.
he's got a big audience,
Where's he
but
ever
so
stood
is the governor of
but
Maine.
that's not as sexy. You know, people
Who
aren't
cares
as
about Maine?
If you bet what's gonna trend on Twitter or Facebook is always gonna be what's hipper.
And that's true. And
And
right now we're talking to
Any of the NFL players
Michael
who beat their
and
wives.
of 28 North, and
And
we
my
also have his dad here as well. Let's pull up this split screen here. I can't get you on screen,
Sorry,
sir, but
he's
that's
never
okay.
stood up for any of the NFL players who beat their wives.
True.
You know?
Yeah.
Where's he
He's
been for that?
exactly. Where's
Okay,
his
so Kaepernick
convictions there?
Shouldn't he be playing? He sits on the bench anyway.
I agree.
You know?
He
You called it right. He's a douchebag.
he's a douchebag. Yeah.
Douchebag.
You know. I'm
But
sorry.
in the grand scheme of things,
wrong
Well, it
thing.
seems like
wrong thing
America-
to protest is the national anthem. Wrong thing to protest.
Yeah,
there's
there's
plenty
other
of things to protest about his cause, but that's not the way to do it.
yeah, I agree. It's a stupid thing to do. I was listening to the Final Word yesterday, and they were mentioning.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Why doesn't he protest our currency?
Well, I think he's protesting the.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, he'll take the parts of the United States that he likes that, you know, allow him to be quite successful.
126
Yeah,
million
but I
dollars.
think that's a bad argument, though, because that doesn't mean that you shouldn't change things that are wrong.
Why doesn't he donate to
country.
these causes?
Well,
with his
that's exactly
$126
what
million
they were saying on the final word, is that there's other things he could be doing, real changes that he
Sure.
could be implementing, and I can understand that. I just look at it as the situation. Why do we care as a people? Why do we care?
He was forgotten because he lost the Super Bowl. He
Yes.
was forgotten, and this is a way to get him back in the headlines.
Yeah, I agree. It's
Okay,
crazy.
Dad, we know what you need to do now. He needs to be on the radio.
But
He's loving this.
I think the bigger issue is why do we care as a society? There's
I actually
real.
don't care.
We
I
love
don't.
sports.
I
They're
don't
our
care
heroes.
as much about what he's done. I don't care about him not standing up for the national anthem. I care that people care about it. I care that we're obsessed over this, but serious issues are really going on. We care about somebody who stands up or doesn't stand up for the national anthem, and in the grand scheme of things, it really makes no difference.
We
Really
care
doesn't
about
matter.
entertainment. That's what we care about, whether it's Donald Trump or whether it's Beyonce shooting her singers on stage last night.
True, but a governor
what we
going
care
out
about.
saying
No, it's not
specifically,
sexy. No one
oh, it
cares.
is sexy. I mean, a governor's
It's
out there.
Maine. Who cares about Maine?
Oh, the people who live in Maine care about
They
Maine.
only care about themselves. I've been there. We played there. They don't like anybody from outside.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you care about them?
Big generalization, but
Maine, for me.
That's
they care
funny.
about me.
They come up here, they sell their heroin, then they go back home. Incidentally, half of the time, they impregnate the young white girl, and then they leave. That's another quote from the great governor of Maine.
Not
Did he
great.
really say that?
Wasn't so
Yeah,
great.
he really said that. This is straight from the BBC. There's multiple articles out there. His name is LePage. That's the governor's name. But yeah,
I think the reason why people care more about that is because there's something really nice about burying your head in the sand.
yeah.
That's what it is. That's
People don't want to talk about the real hard
if they talk
issues.
about that, then they have to be upset all day, and there's no point in being upset. So people deal with the little issue that's, like you said, it really doesn't matter whether he stands or sits or stands on his head during a song. It's a song.
Yeah,
It's a song. It's a symbol. It's a song. Like, do what you're gonna do. I mean, it's nice to show respect. If you don't, I mean, I'm not gonna lose any sleep over what you're gonna do. during the
yeah,
anthem.
I agree, and people talk about
You didn't stand.
what's that?
You didn't stand.
I did not stand, no, but
Well,
I'm in
he
the
took his
middle
hat
of
off.
My hat is off, yes.
Nice.
Hand over the heart.
Right.
But you get the same people, the veterans died for, you to have that right. Well, yeah, that's true. So why are you bitching when somebody exercises that right? I think it's a douchebag move, and I think
that's what they fought for, was the right to sit during the national anthem.
I think.
well, they fought for your right to make that decision.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want during the national anthem.
But even more than that, it comes off the heels of a wonderful Olympics. Both men and women did beautifully for America. And the thing is, they were Americans, black, white, and it doesn't matter what nationality they were. They were all Americans. And then he does this. He takes away from the Olympics too, not just the military.
Yeah, the respect the athletes have shown for the country. It was a nice thing to see. It was nice to see some winning going on in America.
See, to me, what he has done.
The athletes.
Well,
can
how
be
does
a
a
beacon of
Lockheed
hope for people?
How does a swimmer lose everything that he worked for by making a real ass of himself, and this guy doesn't lose anything? And meanwhile, whether
Because he's an NFL player. James Harris can go beat his wife and nobody blinks an eye.
I didn't
In
say
fact, people defend him. People make excuses for it.
But
I
we deflate a ball and he gets 4 games. Where is the justice in the NFL? There is none.
Well, it's not a crime to not stand for the national anthem, and according to the rules dictated by the collective bargaining agreement,
You think it actually says in there you don't have to stand, or do you think it's just omitted because it's just
it's not expressed and under a
then
union
it's not a law.
contract.
It's just the right thing to do, or leave the country and go play football in Canada.
I agree it's the right thing to do, but I also agree that under the Constitution, and unless it's specifically forbidden by their collective bargaining agreement, you have the right not to stand up.
There's no constitution in the NFL. Come on.
Well, there's a collective bargaining agreement.
There's a commissioner.
And there's a collective bargaining
There's a
agreement.
commissioner.
There's a
He
collective
runs
bargaining agreement that is bargained between the
Right.
commissioner.
And they gave up
And
all
labor.
their rights under the NFL that you
They didn't give up all their rights. They gave up a lot of rights.
well, the only right that I know so far that they haven't given up is whether you sit or stand for the national anthem. Otherwise, a player can't fight if they get accused for something. Because you go to the commissioner and he has the final say. You have no, you don't have a board of 3, independent, people saying, arbitrators saying, okay, you can basically be innocent or guilty, but you have a hearing. There's no hearing. You're in front of the commissioner. He's
You guys are once again proving the point that people care too much about sports.
It's big time. Sports is huge. That's why his voice is so loud, and he shouldn't do that. Too many kids look up to him, and it's not good for a hero to be wrong.
No.
Kids look up to him, but that he's trying to make a stand. I mean, he's trying to use that to push his agenda.
I understand.
Well, he's trying to.
standing,
There's no standing in that. Yes,
He's trying to make a sit.
He's trying. Yeah, he's trying to make a sit. That's a better.
Yeah.
Yes, a better verb.
Go to
Yes.
the-
Better joke.
Go to the Canadian Football League.
What's second trending on Twitter?
Yeah, right. We're gonna try to get a hold of Matt Geica. I haven't heard from him, but we're gonna see if we can bring him. Oh, he is in studio. Okay, we're gonna bring in Matt up next. You're listening to the River's Edge Radio Network.
That was fun. Thank you.
Seeing yourself through my
All right. We are back on the River's Edge Radio Network, and I'm not getting a hold of Matt. I'm not sure where he is at, but that's okay. We were talking sports, so I guess we can continue for about 5 more minutes, and then we'll get into our Hillary update. We've got an update with Hillary Clinton that'll be entertaining, that people will want to hear.
Can't wait to hear from her.
Yeah. So she'll be laughing about this one. Actually, it is pretty funny. It's going to tie in with our weird news. We always give a weird news story, but this is definitely very, very weird. So we continued talking off air, and I think you made up a good point. And what's your name, sir? One more time. Rick. Okay.
Lindner, yes.
Rick, you made a good point. If you want to move up closer to the mic, about people wanting to possibly bar Kaepernick from joining their team because, oh my God, he didn't stand up for the national anthem, and people are pissed off about that, which I understand. But it's interesting that people would be so passionate about that, but the people who, like a guy who will drag his wife out of the elevator, we're willing to welcome him back with open arms because he's a good player, but, Kaepernick is not doing so well, so now we're going to protest and do whatever we can and take this righteous moral stand.
Well, it starts with him.
Against sitting down.
It starts with him because he is not playing. He's not doing very well. He lost the Super Bowl. He's in a team that's in transition, and he's trying to make the headlines. That's his goal here. That's what he's done.
Yeah,
So,
you kind of learn when you're out, these people are all working with their publicists, and they're all working with...
Sure.
There's a lot of that going on.
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
being run a lot more than people understand. I mean, even our...
Which is amazing when you listen to some of the dumb things that they say.
Yeah, but sometimes that dumb thing can just start a conversation, and that conversation leads to them making more money.
Or it gets them suspended in the case of,
Yeah, but,
in case
any
you...
press is good press. That is like rule number 2 or 3 of a theater. And
well, look at Donald Trump. He's mastered that.
Of course. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's good press. People
Well, at least
are
he
talking,
shows up. I don't know where your friend Hillary is.
Yeah.
She's
Well,
missing in action.
well, we got an interesting story about her. I'm excited to talk about that. It's something crazy. It's a crazy claim about her family that
Right.
is interesting. I don't know if it's as exciting as singling out. I mean, this guy, like, from Maine, people talk about Trump and, his alleged bigotry. At least he never went out and said that they are the enemy and they need to be, we shoot the enemy. Which is
like the Governor LePage and Hillary are the same kind of people. They're just staying in the background. No one really cares. But Trump and Kaepernick, everybody wants to hear about him. I don't care what he or each one said, and it could be any NFL player, by the way.
Yeah.
Whether it's Roethlisberger or anybody, they want to hear about that because people love sports.
Yeah, and one of the things that I always thought was funny was, okay, you're right, people do want to hear this. I've always been the type of person where I really don't give a damn
You're right, though.
what a celebrity thinks. Like, why in the hell do I care what some rich millionaire in Hollywood has to say about political issues? Somebody who's never, in many cases, has never actually lived in the real world or has been so far removed from the real world that they really can't comment on the situation.
No, they can't.
With any kind of real knowledge of what's going on in the world.
No, they're paid. They're paid, and they want to keep that money coming in.
Okay, as
Kardashians are
somebody
living on
who lives in a way like that, people who entertain, they have as much of a right to speak.
I
their mind
agree.
as anyone. I think that sometimes, let me just say,
I agree completely,
let
but
me
my
say-
point is why do we care what just because somebody is a millionaire?
because they have that voice, they have the ability to bring us in because of who they are. So therefore, something they say might hold more ground and reach more people. I mean,
It'll
that's what
reach more
fame is.
people, but
That's
why
the
would
power of fame.
why would it hold more ground whenever they're less versed on a subject? Somebody who's been a millionaire for 20 years is not versed on the struggles of a hardworking individual, or not a hardworking individual. That's a wrong phrase. A hardworking, lower income individual.
because the young love the entertainers. The young, they're their heroes. Just like a lot of
Is it the
people-
young or is it just people in general? Because I see a lot of old people flipping open the tabloids and
Totally.
fascinated with every little thing that
Where do you hang out?
at the grocery store. You see,
Oh,
you
you
know,
see
you open it up. Yeah, the young people are on the phones. They're not buying the tabloids. They're just reading it right off the internet.
Right, but the tabloids become the phone now,
Exactly. Yeah, but
and so much easier.
oh, it is. It's yes.
And
it's
you don't know
very...
what's true and what's not, so you're gullible.
Yeah.
And who do you look at? Do you look at a LePage on your phone, or do you look at a national hero like a so-called football player that you put on a plateau because he happens to be one of 28 starting quarterbacks?
No. Yeah, it just blows my mind.
It's an elite of the elite.
Like with the quarterback, I'm open to everybody's point of view, but to me, playing a sport does not elevate you as far. Doesn't elevate you to your voice mattering more, I guess.
But if an offensive lineman said that, they would be more like the common folks. You're not going to listen to them. But
that's still making few million.
It's the biggest.
It's not the money.
It's the biggest stage you can like. You're able to reach the most amount of people based on your notoriety. That's why fame is actually more powerful than money.
Yeah,
that's the one thing that's above money because it's that respect and like that you've reached the pinnacle. And in sports, music, acting, the odds of making it are so much lower than in a regular 9-to-5 type of job. Like that's just the truth. Like. The odds of, like, for what I do, like, I've lived in LA for years, like, watched some friends make it, some friends not make it, but knowing that your chances are slim to none, because your job is to get as many people to fall in love with you as possible. Most people have trouble getting one person to fall in love with them, but really what you're doing when you're, like, trying to reach that plateau of fame is trying to get people to fall in love with you. And if you're able to do that, then your voice is going to matter more than some politician. Just the way it is.
No, that's a fair point.
And one thing in defense of Kaepernick, if he would have stood, no one would be talking about him.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, nobody would care.
But I think in my perfect world, he would be talked about only based on his playing. In my world, because that's the pinnacle of which he's reached. He's the great football player, so play some football. Let's talk about that. I don't need to hear let's leave the political science stuff to the political science people, man.
And that's why he sits the bench.
I agree. And my thing is I don't have a problem with him taking a stand. I just don't know why we care. I guess that's more my concern is why we as a nation care so much what he has to say.
It goes back to that whole, it's like the best looking guy at the party. It's just like this guy is who people are looking at. That's where their eyes are.
It's also the people that he surrounds himself with. Someone made him do this. I don't think the guy's smart enough to do this on his own.
His publicist probably said, hey,
whether it's publicists or friends or...
See, I don't think it was a very smart thing to do to begin with. I mean, it got people talking about him, but I don't think... Honestly, I don't even know if he really was making a stand or if that was just a reactionary thing he said.
He did this at least last week before. That didn't get any publicity. He might have done it the last.
Well, the thing about football is you think about it, the people. Football guys they're not going to like what he's doing. Like you might do that in a different sport and it might go over a little better. But football guys, they love America. Let's be honest here. They love that whole American pride stuff. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but that's something that's like deeply ingrained within most football fans. Like they like the American pride thing. So he's really just pissing off his clientele. People are going to come see him.
True, but
he's what's the word? He's kind of just like
you called it before, douchebag.
Yeah, he's a douchebag.
It's a douchey thing to do. That's all.
He's a douche.
He has the right to do it, but come on, man, be cool.
Why would you alienate any of your fans?
Respect
that makes
people.
no sense.
That
when you're
goes
making
over really well when you.
What he should do is give back, $61 million back because he just screwed half his fans who don't like him anymore. So I think that San Francisco, 49 should take half his money back.
There we go.
I mean, really, what it does is it stops his, his merch sales, his play time, his endorsements. I
guess he's done with the Olympics.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's not going to make it there. So.
Right. Go out there, play some good football. That's what I want to see.
But here's a guy that pisses in the bathroom, knocks a few things off.
Hey, everybody pisses in the bathroom.
Thinks he's being robbed, and he loses everything.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the justice in this world for the public? Forget about the courts, but the public. Where's their outrage? Why do we buy Chris Brown records again? All of a sudden, 3 years later, everybody gets a reset. Bingo, that's right.
Is that how it works? So you can do anything.
People forget so quickly. In this country.
But they don't forget. They just forgive, which is
or a new generation comes out that doesn't know.
We're taught to forgive at a young age, but sometimes when do you stop forgiving? Chris Brown's a perfect example. Rihanna is even though she's not American, she's like America's sweetheart. Everyone loves Rihanna. Sure. What's not to love? She's a great artist. He beat the shit out of her, and then everybody just kind of forgets. And 2 years later, the return of Chris Brown, the VMAs. Why? Why is he allowed back? Why don't you let somebody else come in who who didn't beat their wife, who's also an artist, who's great. I don't know.
Well, your old manager Jerry Heller taught me this. It's that the rap and hip
Shout out
hop.
to Jerry.
Well, basically, what they want to do is they want to be bad boys, and they want to get arrested, and that's all part of their
Street
game.
cred.
The street
Yeah.
cred, and that's what they do, and it works. And here's the worst example for Brianna. The worst example of it.
Well, it just sucks. You know, it's like there's tons of examples like that.
Oh yeah, it's just like it's crazy.
Like once again, fame is more powerful than anything, including like being bad. Or like
How about
you know?
how about the soccer player Hope? I don't know her last name.
Hope
She's-
Solo.
Solo,
Yeah.
who calls the other team cowards, and she gets, you know what, for 6 months she's not allowed to play soccer, and she's devastated over it because she called him a coward.
Aren't you supposed to think you're
Well,
See,
you know,
you're-
the thing with her that's interesting is, okay, she got suspended for that, but she's a domestic abuser herself, and that's something that nobody
Really?
remembers. Yeah, she's a big-time domestic abuser, and everyone swept that under the rug. No big deal. She calls someone a coward, and all of a sudden she's suspended, but they don't suspend her for domestic
Right.
abuse.
And now she walked away from the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the social justice is weird. We pick and choose like you wouldn't believe.
Well, social
Oh,
Well,
justice.
look
yeah.
at Keith Richards, like one of my idols, right? Okay, let's be honest about Keith Richards. And like I said, one of my idols. Like I play a Stone song almost every time I perform. I love him. He's an incredible artist. He's also a fall down junkie and has been for like 35 years. And heroin's cool when Keith Richards does it, but what about when the guy down the street does it? He doesn't get like paid millions of dollars and like a bunch of free shit. Like yeah, everybody's all skewed. Everything's skewed because nobody knows really where like the cursor of good is, because it's like, you know, you can do anything, and depending on like how rich or famous you are, you get the respect or you won't.
Well, it depends exactly how rich you are.
Comes back to the
Yeah.
first thing you said. Once again, it's like celebrity is truly the most powerful thing there is.
Yeah, it's crazy. We got speaking of powerful people, we have a Hillary Clinton update. Got our Hillary Clinton laugh track.
This is our Hillary Clinton dance. Is that her laugh?
This is her laugh, yeah. Hillary Clinton's laugh.
What a good song.
Look, we came, we saw, we died. We came,
All right, so Roger Stone, who dislikes Hillary Clinton, he's come out with a statement that he believes that Hillary's daughter, Chelsea, has undergone multiple plastic surgeries to make her look like Bill Clinton, because she is not Bill Clinton's daughter. She is actually Webb Hubbell's daughter, and they don't want anybody to know that. So since age 18, Chelsea has been undergoing multiple plastic surgeries to make herself look like Bill.
I don't think it's
That's
working.
the alleged.
Hey, if that's true, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, who really cares?
I
But
think
You
the
know,
Michael
I just-
Jackson
That's
thing's
what's
much
fun.
better. Looking like
Yeah,
Diana
yeah.
Ross.
Yeah,
Much
I
more
think
sexy.
they were too judgy on people about like, hey, what if that's true? That's true. It's true. It's not a big deal to me. If she's gonna do that, that's weird. I'm gonna judge it like deep down, but I'm not gonna not like someone or talk shit on them or not.
I think it's a complete fraud.
Well,
I think
that's
he's
the other
just,
thing.
Yeah,
It's
he's,
completely untrue
Yeah,
too.
he-
But even if it was true, it wouldn't bother me. is
If
what I'm
she
trying
was
to say.
having, if she had plastic surgery, she'd be looking a lot better
yeah, she
than she
could.
does.
Chelsea.
I'm
could be
sorry. I don't
really
care
hot.
who she'd be looking like, but a lot,
Well.
you know, sorry, it's not
I
working.
just think the claim is ridiculous. How desperate are we to? And what kills me? Okay, Hillary Clinton has more than enough dirt,
Easy.
on her. Yeah, you don't need to pull out the pen and creatively write stories.
But also that
about
changes the dynamic of how we should think. Like we're taught to think that that's like to be open. So let's
Mm-hmm.
say that like even though that's complete bullshit, it didn't happen, whatever. Why should we hate someone if that is true? What's the big deal?
Who cares?
It's like why do we need to be like taught to be like, wow, she did that? Fuck her. I don't. It doesn't.
Well, I think the point is more. It's more of a slight against Hillary, I think, than
like
Chelsea.
she banged some guy.
Yeah, that's the
that's
slight.
not-
I don't
okay,
think she
but-
bangs guys.
I don't-
Guys,
Well, there's that allegation as
Hey,
well.
that's fine
But
too.
that's
Once
fine
again.
too. Yeah, I
How
mean,
do
who
you know
cares?
she's even Hillary's?
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I guess you could question everything, but let's be honest. That's their kid.
yeah.
I mean,
I just think it's so ridiculous the claim that she's an illegitimate daughter. She went through multiple plastic surgeries to look
What?
like Bill.
Nah.
People are desperate to make. That's somebody.
What upsets me
but
more
really, all
about-
that is an idea that some dude who needed money. That's where it started. It's like, I need some money.
When-
Because why else would you make that? Even like that's just ridiculous.
It's desperate.
It's
Yeah,
desperate.
When I
it's-
know kids that come
so
to
desperate.
his shows and they're coming out of college and they can't get a job, and their daughter was able to get $600,000 a year to work for, I guess, NBC. And what was her claim to fame? Just, illegitimate daughter.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's a lot of money for some kid coming out of college to get. I don't care. I mean, when there's so many kids don't have jobs, they just have debt.
Of course she was, but that's part of her power. You bet
Yeah.
your ass the daughter of the president's going to get a kick-ass job. Come on.
It's not fair.
That's the country we live in, and you know that.
And I mean, it's like that in even on the local level. I my current job, I didn't have an in, but I was able to get inside information to apply for
There's
the
nothing
job
wrong with
because
that.
Yeah,
That's
but
part
you
of the
worked,
hustle.
you
I like
worked,
that.
you had a goal, you had a dream, and you followed through with it. That's what the American dream's all about. You should be proud
But
of that.
then again, sometimes if your ancestors did better than other people's ancestors, you're gonna have an in somewhere. That's just like it might not be fair, but nothing is, and that's just how it goes. So if your daddy's president, you bet your ass you're gonna get at least.
well, not only
600K.
that, but every parent is going to do what they can to help their
Yeah,
kid
that's-
out. So
that's
if
part
you're
of
in
the
that
whole-
position, you're going to.
You can't just hate on people because they're doing better than you.
No, it's not about that. It's just like all of a sudden, like, women who graduate from the same college as a man, they work in the same company and they're getting paid less. That's unfair.
Yeah, that's unfair. That's a whole
Okay,
different thing.
that has nothing. But that's what you're saying. It's okay for society to give someone with
Right, I see what
power.
you're saying.
It's no different. You're giving the man more money for what reason? There's none.
Well, you give the person more money because they have those connections, and that's just like maybe that's something we should try to change if that's what you're
Well,
saying.
of course, we should try to change
But
that.
like people are grandfathered into stuff. That's like just the thing. Like people, if your grandfather did really well, a lot of times maybe you'll be taken care of for, you'll have money in the bank.
Yeah,
Well, I
and
mean, that's
I don't know that
America.
that's.
the whole state of Iowa.
That's true.
Well, we're gonna play one of your songs. We're gonna
Great,
get that
man.
queued up, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about what you guys do and talk about the upcoming concert at James Street. We're so proud to and so happy to be a part of this here at the River's Edge. So happy to sponsor that. It's gonna be September 2nd in the Ballroom at the James Street Gastropub and Speakeasy.
That triangle
And,
right there.
All right, awesome. And that is right, I see it right there. Ah, they changed. I forgot Apple has changed their headphone jack to the bottom to
Nothing.
try to be different. So
No,
to
there's
nothing. Oh,
not.
that's right. I heard they're getting rid of that, huh?
Yeah.
So do they want to do it like what, all Bluetooth or
All
something?
Bluetooth,
See.
which people are very upset about. People really believe
Oh,
that
it disappeared on me.
that a cord
Might
makes a
have-
big difference.
Oh, I found it. I think.
Does a cord make a big difference versus Bluetooth? That's what
And
people
as soon as I
say.
plug it in, it disappears. So I don't know.
Hit that little triangle down there, that red one.
The red triangle.
Plug it in, hit the red triangle.
I see it. All right, very cool. So we
Nice.
got a song up next. Then we're gonna bring in Michael from 28
the
North.
name of the
and we're gonna-
song?
The name of the song. Which one are we playing here?
Is It
This
Over?
Is It Over? All right. Got that, and then we'll be back in just a minute. You're listening to Pittsburgh's Voice for Local Music, the River's Edge Radio Network.
Are we bound to be ancient history? Is it over now? Is it over now? Girl, I hope someday we'll
All right, we are back
Nice.
on the River's Edge Radio Network, and we're
yeah,
talking.
you're the first person to play that song. Like,
Oh,
I
really?
Just finished, I was just in LA
Very cool.
finishing that record,
World premiere.
and we haven't even released it yet.
There we
We haven't
go,
even
so-
drawn up the artwork yet. Yeah, so
So first time here on the
first
River's
time,
Edge. That's
here,
right.
buddy.
That's best stuff here always. We are here. We're going to talk. We're with Michael of 28 North, and we're going to talk about your guys' performance coming up the 2nd. And I'm excited. We're so excited to be part of this performance. It's going to be fantastic. I think a good group of musicians, great artists. I'm excited, and it's such an awesome venue in the city. So, how did you get involved with the venue? I know you guys
We
were.
were supposed to play there. We showed up at Deutschtown Music Festival a couple weeks ago, and right when we got there, like my buddy Sean Hickman, who I think you had on.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we and him just wrote a song together. He's a good guy.
Nice.
Shout out to Sean and Wendy, my friends. We went to Steely Dan together as well. Really
Mhm.
love those guys. But anyways, he's like, hey man, yeah, the venue's closed down. The cops are upstairs. Stadies are upstairs. Someone had like a serious noise complaint. And we're like, all right, so we're not playing. And there was like a little back and forth for about 45 minutes. Then we're just like, okay, this isn't happening. And
So
then
you never actually made it into the building?
Well, I walked in.
Mm-hmm.
I was in. We actually got there early because we were supplying the drum kit for everybody. Turned out they had a drum kit because they're a great venue. But yeah, we got there, went back, went fishing for a little bit, came back to the gig, and they were like, "Yeah, guys, there's no gig here tonight." So we were kind of bummed. And then Kevin, I think it's Kevin, reached out.
Yeah,
to
Kevin
me.
Safner. Mm-hmm.
Good guy too. He reached out to me and actually the gig is just me. My drummer's in LA right now. My bass player's in Cleveland, and I'm doing this show solo because I have some really cool solo stuff I got going on. And
Yeah.
the band just couldn't make it for this one. We have a show next week in the House of Blues in Cleveland, and
Mm-hmm.
Tyler's in LA right now. But it'll be just me, which I'm really excited about, to showcase this kind of new thing I've been doing. It's all 28 North. It's the umbrella that I live under.
Sure.
But it'll just be me. So when you said you guys, I just wanted to.
So
everyone
it
to
will
know
be
it'll
just you. Okay.
It'll be the one-man band.
Very
Michael
cool.
Lindner from 28 North.
So did you see what went down that night in Deutschtown? Did you see the entire
I saw the
thing?
whole thing. I had a unique perspective because I
So,
was pissed. Because I
yeah,
wanted to
tell
play
me
it.
about the situation.
Well,
What was that
this
like?
is what's ridiculous to me is like, obviously the festival got the city ordinances necessary to put the festival on. The festival, whatever, the people that put it on, because there was music all day.
Yes.
Like for a couple days, right? So for them to shut a venue down by calling the state police is ridiculous to me.
Well, I don't think the city called the state police.
No,
'cause
no.
The
The
city would
dude
just,
called the state police. The dude,
yes, the guy who was
the
complaining. Yeah.
Voldemort guy. Like, hey, man. I mean, look, some people don't want to hear music. I get it. But, like, really, do you need to be that guy that's, like, right in front of everybody's good time? And, like, me personally, I was really pissed because we were supposed to play that night. We had a lot of people show up. But people were excited. And we had to let a lot of people down. That really pissed me off. So, like, that guy owes me an apology. And if you ever met me, he probably wouldn't have done that because he probably liked me because I'm a nice guy and it's my birthday. But for him to do that, to call the state police, like knowing you're going around the city police, not respecting anybody that put this on, and just like do that to a group of bands, it wasn't just us, it was a bunch of bands, is wrong.
But the guy knew by calling the state police. By calling the state police, he knew that it would be shut down automatically. If he'd
Yes.
called the city
He's
police,
very smart.
there wasn't an ordinance there,
How
so
could
they were
someone
fine.
be that smart without loving rock and roll? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Well, do you think it was malicious beyond the festival? Because that's something that I
Of
had
course,
asked.
I
Kevin.
think-
Because who in the world knows about that law? I didn't know about that law. When I spoke to Kevin, I talked with him.
I think everybody there learned that they're like, oh, you can do that, cool.
I think
Well,
it's-
uncool.
Yeah,
But
but like, okay, that's a thing. But like, people understood that you could do that.
do you think it was somebody who was in the restaurant business at some point or something like that?
No,
Because how would you know
it was a
about that
neighbor.
law?
It was a neighbor.
But I'm asking, do you think that he?
He's probably in law enforcement,
Has-
and it was very selfish more than
Yeah.
malicious.
Okay.
It was all about him.
I'm not going to sit here and pontificate on what he does for a living.
Yeah, I just wonder because I think in my mind, how would you know about this law? Because if I don't know about the law,
Because you've called the city many times, probably. He's
nothing
probably
worked.
been complaining for a while. That's what I understood as well, is that he's been a problematic neighbor for a while. So, he probably, the more you deal with something, the more you know about it. So he probably just started to understand, okay, well, the city cops can't do anything today. I remember that one guy told me to call the state. You know,
Internet.
that's the kind of thing, or the internet, or
Yeah, the internet. That's probably. I just. It's weird that the restaurant owner himself didn't know about the law, and I guess that's where I
well,
think
what
that
law?
the law that comes from the liquor license, because the way that the law that was breached, it wasn't a local ordinance. So what happened is there's local ordinances which regulate your sound, but then attached to your liquor license, there's a sound clause that comes in with your liquor license, and that sound clause specifically says that the sound cannot travel beyond the property line. And the group that busted James Street, they're part of the state police called the Bureau of Liquor Control Enforcement. So they came in undercover, and they were specifically targeting them on liquor laws. And the way that they determine whether you've broken that law is they go outside and they listen. And if they hear the music, then they know that you've broken the law, and then they'll come in and...
Well, that I guess to me, then I think we got to change that law. I don't like
I
that.
think that's ridiculous.
It's
Yeah,
stupid
to me,
law.
what does liquor have anything
Rock
to do?
and roll and alcohol go together. Let's just
Yeah, well,
they're
not
fun
only
together.
that, but we don't have a liquor license here at the Millville Studios. We once had a show here. If we're super noisy, we're not held to the same standards and criteria as, say, the Double L, which is like down the street
Doesn't
from us.
that get into like the whole idea of like it's way too hard to start a small business and we need to like make that easier?
Yeah.
It's called regulations. Get rid of them
Yeah,
all.
there's too many regular. Come on, man, this is America.
So what was the attitude like upstairs in the ballroom?
It was tense.
How were the police? Were they like harsh?
No, they were just like, this is what it is, man. This is how it is, and they were doing their job. Let's be honest, that's their job. It's doing
Why are they
the
working
road.
so late?
It wasn't even late.
Yeah.
And there were so many people there, and it would have been such a great show. But that's why I'm here. That's why when Kevin said, "You want to come do it?" I said, "Yeah, the band's not going to be in town because we're not in town that week, but I'm in town, and I'd love to do it."
Is it kind of a cool experience to be able to come back to this venue and open it up for the grand reopening party whenever you
course.
dealt with the other end of it where you weren't able to play?
Well, it's always wonderful to see things come full circle and see that he's done whatever he needed to do to get his liquor license and get his business back. And I know that all my musician friends around town love that place. It's got a really good reputation. So it's a great place to be and a great place to have music. So I'm absolutely stoked to get there and start it back up, rev it back up.
Yeah, it's got such a rich history, so I'm really thrilled to see it come back. And I was shocked and really disappointed to see when that did happen. And one thing that I thought was awesome was just to see the community come together to.
It's always nice when people care.
All right, we are back on the river's edge. Somebody went over and accidentally flipped the switch on our breaker and completely shut down the entire studio.
I think it was the state troopers.
I think it was probably the state
It
troopers.
was the
You're
sound
right.
ordinance guy.
You were
Yeah.
talking about the LCB.
Yeah, well,
Like Rachel
we were
Boyd.
talking about them, then all of a sudden the system goes down. I don't know.
I don't know.
Coincidence?
I don't think so.
I don't know. No. So
There
what
are-
were we talking about? Like, it's been.
James Street, and it's coming back to fruition, and things are good there, and we're stoked to play there.
Yeah, so tell me about your history, about the band.
I've been touring the country for a couple of years now. I'm in a band called 28 North that I started here in Pittsburgh years back.
Now, do you live on 28? Or did you live
I
on
did.
28?
I grew up in Aspinwall, so
Okay.
went to Duquesne Music School there, started the band. Been toured with all kinds of bands over the years. ZZ Top, Train, 311, Young the Giant. Been touring all over the country.
Wow, that's
Gotten
awesome.
to play some of the coolest venues you ever saw, and just really enjoying my time as a musician. And I just finished a record. I've been out in LA making a record. Just finished it. It's 14 songs right now. We're gonna probably cut it down to about 8 or 9 and release it. So that's kind of what's been going on with me, and it's my birthday, and I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, happy birthday,
Thanks, bud.
and I was glad to have you here for that, so that's awesome. I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, I gotta get out. I'm gonna be going fishing here in a few minutes, so
Very
I'm gonna
cool.
wrap it up.
Yeah, so let's wrap that up. You have a song for us.
I'd love to play your song.
Yes.
This is one of my new songs. It's called Demon.
And let's move, if you don't mind, let's move this other mic over so we can move this.
Okay, it's don't press anything.
All right.
All right, guys, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
I would love to tune this guitar before I begin playing for you.
All right. Well, I will give you the holiday of the day while that's going on.
Yeah, let's hear that.
Today's holiday of the day is More Herbs, Less Salt Day. I don't even know why the hell this is a holiday, but it is a holiday that promotes healthy eating, and it promotes eating herbs over salt. Really, really dumb holiday. I can't believe anybody would celebrate something like that, but that is your holiday of the day.
Speaking of dumb holidays, this is the opposite of that.
Yes.
Always changing, never enough. The wind at your back keeps you alive. Don't react or time will erupt. Watch what you say, nobody's safe. I don't know what to do, so I'll sing to you. I think this is love. I want you to know. When you get scared, I swear that I'll be your ghost. I'll haunt you to sleep. Black out the sun. I'll be your favorite demon. Hold her close or she'll fly away. Scared of the truth, I'm scared of her lies. Goes well until your dying day. I am the one, I'm the demon. I don't know what to do, so I'll torture you. I think this is love, and I want you to know. When you get scared, I swear that I'll be your ghost. I'll haunt you to sleep. Black out the sun. I'll be your favorite demon. Now I don't know what day it was, but I know we were happy once, and I don't know what's real or true. So this is what I'll sing to you. I think this is love, and I want you to know. When you get scared, I swear that I'll be your ghost. I'll haunt you to sleep. Black out the sun. I'll be your favorite demon. I'm with you, my love, holding you close. Please don't be scared. I'm only a ghost. I'll haunt you to sleep. Black out the sun. I'll free your favorite demons. I'll free your favorite demons.
Woo!
Thank you.
Excellent. Well, that is it from me. We're going to let you go enjoy your birthday.
Thanks,
and,
bud.
absolutely. Don't forget, tomorrow, 10 a.m., Mike Sasson here in studio live at Pittsburgh's Voice for Local Music, the River's Edge Radio Network. I'm Brian Crawford. I'll be back Wednesday. You're listening to Pittsburgh's Voice for Local Music, riversedgepgh.com.